Today's film is Cards on a Table, a Christmas film. It's directed by Victor Gatonye and it's produced by Blackwell Films. It's set in Nairobi, but of the 1992. It's following Jackso and Beth, who are Kenyan ex-couple who are struggling to stay afloat in, of course, tough Kenya. But then they do a heist that doesn't go well and end up at the police station. So majority of the film is set in a police station. Did you guys watch it? How did you rate it? What do you make of it?
I think the cinematography was beautiful. I love the picture. I think there's that corridor scene outside where there's so many flares in the screen. Yeah. I thought that was nice, and it matches well with the Christmas mood as well because you want the reds and the blues that are similar to the Christmas lights. That is, I think, my highest highlight from the film. So I like the set design. Sort of, it could feel. I mean, obviously, because I know Nairobi, I could see things that are very, 2020. I could see them. But I think for people who don't have that keen eye for Nairobi, the setting, this could easily be accepted for a 1990s Nairobi setting. So I like that a lot. The writing, again, this is a comedy. It's supposed to be a very light watch. So you can't blame them for going that approach. But I felt, again, it was a little bit lazy, maybe. The performances, yeah, I mean, for comedy, I like the inspector. I thought the inspector did well, and the inspector also, the way the photography sort of complemented him. So he was almost always in the shadows like this, always in the shadows. I liked that. And I liked his performance overall. Again, as an African, you kind of know like Ugandan and Kenyan cops are not so different. So, there's a thing that reminds you of like, this is how a policeman usually is. Yeah, and Beth, who also happens to be that's the character of the actual writer, who also happens to be the writer. Most definitely, she wrote this for herself. She wrote a film she will perform in, and so you can see how much the film selfishly is about her and her role. So yeah, that is one thing I noticed, but it not in a bad way. It's in a good way. I think it's, the sort of the Christmas vibe comes through. The Christmas vibe comes through. Yeah, in the end, also the thing that maybe wasn't intentionally highlighted on, but I liked a lot about this film was the police station and how these police officers improvise. All right, so there's first of all having these guys handcuffed on a window is something very typical in an overcrowded police station. There is, when he says I have space in my office, if there is nowhere to put them, just bring them and refill them. Yeah, we never see those other criminals, but they do that. Then there's a time when they call him when they're taking some criminals, I don't know where. Then they tell him the truck is full, and he's like, "How does a truck get full? Right? Like if you can't pack enough people in a truck, basically." So yeah, I like some of those like very subtle but very nice things that I already know about police stations.
Yeah. No, I think like to piggyback off your cinematography comment, like I love the cinematography for like, but specifically because it wasn't designed to stand out, because I see it a lot of times where like these days, like especially like in our Ugandan productions, there's a lot of cinematography that doesn't fit the story, because everything is supposed to serve the story, but then it's a very down to earth story, but it has very fantastic of cinematography, and so like I like this one because like you kind of forget that it's there in a good way in the sense that it blends in with the story that they're trying to tell really well. So it was a very like comfortable watch, like to the eyes and that kind of thing, where it's just like, oh, you can just focus on them without being aware that there's a light here, that kind of thing. So I liked how they took time to do that. And then for the characters, I loved that there was like a banter they had. You could tell like they knew each other, and they were believable enough to be like these people have had history, right? So their performances were really good. And of course, Beth's performance stood out, and I guess I don't know if it's because, like you said, she wrote it for herself or whatever, but like it was very well thought through. But she bounced off her what was Jackson very well. Like where it's like, oh, it's not a thing of like this one is dragging this one through the performance. It was really nice. The Inspector was my favorite, easily. Like he really felt like a guy that I've met when I'm giving a statement about something at a police station. I was like, I know this guy. Everything about him, from the way he's sluggish to then unfocused and whatever. I was like, I know this guy. And you could really tell there was like real authenticity behind it. So I really enjoyed it for what it was. It was like a very small thing. The set design of the crowded thing, it was just really well done. So I think it was like a proper solid effort.
Okay. Just so you know, the inspector that you all love is Mufasa Poet or Mufasa Kibet, and Beth is Shirleen Wangari, who I watched on Tahidi High back then, and also MTV Sugar. I used to watch those shows back then. Back then, yeah, she's the one. She's beautiful. She's sexy. My
Is she?
issues. Yes, she
So we
is.
didn't notice.
She is. She is. She is. I'll
Some
give
of us
her.
are focused on the
Yes,
art.
some of us are focused on the
Hey,
cinematography.
I will give her flowers for that. The production value of the film is really good. I will not take that away. I will start with the first issue that I had. I wish the inspector was in uniform. I wish he was in uniform. Yes. And though you say, and I'm surprised that you all say he felt believable, for me, he felt theatrical. It gave me more of watching this from the National Theatre. So for a film, I expected something less theatrical and more of what I would expect of an inspector when I go to a police station. At least put him in uniform. At least not you know those yes, the suspenders are what everyone would come up with in a play. So that is my first issue, and yet my colleagues here have liked it. Then another thing that I that stood out for me and made me in fact rate this below is the cohesion. It was sold to me as a romantic thing. Like it's at no point did I feel love. I felt like two exes who like they want to be together, they don't know if they want to be together, they are bringing in this, they're bringing like everyone has different things going on. So for me it felt like they were changing the script as they went along. Like maybe originally at the start there was some other reason, and then later on maybe someone said no, no, let it be his mother, let it be his mother. Like it,
What do you speculate was the initial reason?
I don't know, but for the way he concealed it, the way they kind of led to it, it because he even said it's a matter of life and death. It's big. It's government. Remember, there's a point he said it's government. So me as the audience, I was like, did he steal government funds? Did he like? Is he supposed to? Something like that, yeah. And then later on, the reveal just didn't feel like something so big. Well, this movie opens to Jackso and Beth talking, and there's a guy in the foreground. Is it called foreground? Yeah. Who's like listening to them, who seems to have major sway in Beth's life, but we don't get to see that guy again. At the start of the film, it feels like he's going to be a pivotal character, but he is disregarded. Now, this is what I mean by it feels like the film it changed course over the time, over different shoots. Like maybe they were like, oh, no, I got an idea last night, and you know what? Let's ditch this. Let's go with this. Like that's how it kind of felt for me.
After watching the whole thing, I feel like with a very strict script editor and a very strict film editor, you have the best short film this year.
So how have you rated it? Let's share our ratings.
It fell victim to its own ambition of trying to stretch. So man, I think I'm gonna put it at like a 4.
Making the picture look that nice and consistent with the Christmas. Yeah, I think that was good. So I also give it a 4 as a whole production film. And it's something I'd recommend also.
I liked the music in the film, and the sound editing was really good. So for me, God, Beth is sexy. 3.